We're dissecting Scrum to take a look at it piece by piece. Today, it's the turn of the event that's hiding in plain sight, the sprint. Welcome to Development That Pays. My name is Gary Strawn, and if we're meeting for the first time, please consider subscribing and hit that bell icon so you don't miss a thing. Our journey has brought us to the sprint, arguably the defining feature of Scrum. The sprint is a wrapper for the other four events: sprint planning, daily stand-up, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. Did you know that all 5 Scrum events are time-boxed? Well, they are, and nowhere is that more evident than with the sprint itself. The Scrum Guide tells us that the maximum duration for a sprint is 1 calendar month, and while some teams go as short as 1 week, most teams have found that 2 weeks is just about the sweet spot. I started out by saying that the sprint is the defining feature of Scrum. But what's its purpose? What's its intent? The Scrum Guide lays it out. Each sprint may be considered a project with no more than a 1-month horizon. Like projects, sprints are used to accomplish something. Each sprint has a goal of what is to be built, a design and flexible plan that will guide building it, the work, and the resultant product increment. That mention of a project there reminds us of waterfall, where we might design everything, build everything, test everything, release everything over a period of time that might amount to months or even years. And that's risky. Scrum chunks this down into units of time, but still requires that all, or at least most, of the processes are present. In each sprint, we can expect to design, build, and test. What about release? Well, Scrum doesn't require us to release, but it does require that every sprint we build what is termed as a potentially releasable increment. Whether or not this increment is actually released is a decision for the Scrum team. As a quick aside here, there's nothing in the Scrum Guide that says that we must wait to the end of a sprint before releasing. Continuous integration, continuous deployment approaches are more than welcome. So we looked at waterfall and we looked at Scrum's chunking of time. But what's the benefit? Well, we've already touched on one, and that is to do with risk. If we find that we've run off in the wrong direction, well, at least we only did so for a month or less. And the benefits keep coming. At the end of each sprint, we inspect and adapt. And that's built into another Scrum event, the sprint review. The sprint review is one of the main ways we ensure that the product improves over time. In waterfall, remember, design everything, build everything, test everything. We get to play the game exactly once. In Scrum, we get to play the game sprint after sprint after sprint after sprint. This gives us the opportunity to get better at playing the game. And again, Scrum doesn't leave this to chance. It's built into another event, the retrospective. I'm going to break in once again just to say that there's a cheat sheet to go along with this series on Scrum. The cheat sheet is imaginatively titled The Scrum Cheat Sheet. Getting your hands on a copy is simplicity itself. In the description below, you will find a link. Click the link, follow the instructions, and it's all yours. Going back to something I mentioned earlier, sprints are used to accomplish something. That something being the sprint goal. And one of the ways Scrum does this is to, in effect, insulate the team so that it can concentrate and get work done. And although Scrum doesn't preclude changes during the sprint, it certainly limits them. Here's what the Scrum Guide says. No changes are made that would endanger the sprint goal. Of course, it's quite normal for the team itself to make changes as it moves through the sprint and discovers new things about the work. And the Scrum Guide words this rather nicely. Scope may be clarified and renegotiated between the product owner and development team as more is learned. So this chunking of time into these sprints brings with it some really good stuff. A reduction of risk, the improvement of the product over time, and the improvement of processes over time. We get better at playing the game. What's not to like? Well, not much, but these things don't come for free. The team needs to figure out what's achievable within each sprint. So they need to spend time sizing, estimating backlog items, so they know how many of them can fit into the sprint. That's an overhead that you won't find in all Agile frameworks. And what happens if the team gets the estimates wrong? We have a tendency towards optimism, so it's not unusual for the team to approach the end of the sprint and see that there's still rather a lot to be done. Is it okay just to stretch the sprint just a little bit in order to fit them in? Well, no, it's not. We never increase the size of the sprint. However, if things get really hairy, we do have the option of cancelling the sprint. Here's what the Scrum guide says about that. A sprint would be cancelled if the sprint goal becomes obsolete. This might occur if the company changes direction or if market or technology conditions change. In general, a sprint should be cancelled if it no longer makes sense given the circumstances. Dramatic stuff indeed, but given that a sprint is only a few weeks long anyway, sprint cancellation is rare. Question of the week. In your team, how long is your sprint? Let me know in those comments below and keep watching. There are many other videos in this series on Scrum, including the two that you should see around me somewhere. See you next time. Cheers for now.